Soul Source is a podcast made by women for women. We're looking at the topics that are influencing women and the world they live in, and we're shedding a light on those topics. We're speaking with the national experts. We're bringing you the stories you're only going to hear here. Don't miss out on being in the know. Subscribe to Soul Source wherever you listen to podcasts today and leave us a review. This part's really important. That way we can continue to bring you the content you love each and every week. So buckle up, Soul Source Society, because we're about to get started. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing good. How are you doing?
Welcome back. We're so excited to have you back to the office, Rocky. I cannot say it enough. It was a fast 3 months, but I was lonely on this end of the office without you.
I know. Lisa and I are actually on the same side of the office here at Red Shoes, and you've been doing a great job, though. I've been listening to some of these podcasts, and you've been filling in. You've been fantastic.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, nothing like pinch hitting. It was awesome. I'll tell you, it was so cool to meet everybody that I did. Mm-hmm. That is like the coolest part of doing the podcast is you have an opportunity to meet people from all walks of life, everywhere in the world. And it was awesome just to have those pre-conversations and then do the official interviews. And everyone was awesome. Great topics that we covered, from finances to, advocates and mental health and everything in between. And travel, it was awesome.
That's the cool part about doing this podcast, right? Is getting to meet the people on the other end, telling those stories. That's what's so much fun.
Yeah, I just, for me, that was a bucket filler. It's been a long, hard year. You kind of get into your routine, your world sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And then to get outside virtually, of course, but to get outside virtually and to have that opportunity to meet everyone, and that's really like between COVID and then, and you being out of the office, as bad as that was, like, again, it was a bucket filler for me just to meet all these people and hear these amazing stories.
And we're going to keep having you back on. I mean, Lisa's not going anywhere. She's going to still
you.
help out.
I made the cut. That's good. That's good. Trial by error and fire and everything else. But the first one was a little nerve-wracking. I'm not going to lie. Like, there were so many pieces to this that I didn't understand. And now that I've been doing it firsthand, and I've obviously been listening to your podcast, and then I started listening to them again before I started doing my first interview. But all these like moving parts and pieces, and I had to have help every time. Somebody running the soundboard, somebody doing the Zoom, somebody doing this with the computer. I mean, I was like, I just need to focus on the interview. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm coming back. So I've been out for 3 months now.
Thank goodness.
It was maternity leave for me. And so, I'm starting to get back in the flow of things a little bit too. I've been reaching out to guests already. I'm really excited about some of the stories we're getting ready to tell.
Oh, I can't wait. And funny enough, Rocky, you haven't really talked about your baby. The sweetest, cutest little baby ever. So tell us about the newest edition.
Yeah, so I was out. I had a little baby. Came as a surprise, actually. It came 2 weeks early. So his name is Corbin. He was due. He's supposed to be April 12th. He came March 30th. I woke up randomly at 4 o'clock in the morning and found out my water had broken, and off I went to the hospital. I got there, and this is my first baby, mind you, so everything is new. And I get to the hospital, and the nurse is like, well, your water broke. You're definitely having a baby. A little bit of a shock. I was like, wait, that can't wait till later? Like, that's going to happen today? She goes, oh, yeah. So, had 13 hours of labor, and here he was, and he was perfect and healthy, and it's just been a lot of learning ever since then.
Yeah, welcome to motherhood. And as I've told you, I have 4 boys. You now have 1. You need any advice. I don't know if it's good advice. I am happy to give it and provide all that I've learned throughout the years. But I'm so happy for you and Christian to have baby Corbin. He's just adorable. And, again, looking back on like this past year, and I think about, we had your baby shower out on the porch of your house. I mean, just things like you would never think we would be doing. And it was different for me as an employer, as your friend, as your colleague, to not be there with you along the way during your pregnancy. Like, it was like one day you told us you were pregnant, And then, one day you stood up on a virtual call and it's like, oh my gosh, she's really pregnant now. And then all of a sudden you're having the baby.
Yeah. It was so crazy. Like I did so many things during this pandemic. Well, the office was closed. I got married. I was pregnant. I had a baby, and I kind of did it all in solitude, but you guys were there, and that was the cool part. Like, even though we weren't together in the office, everybody did come. They had a bridal shower for me. They had a baby shower. They did come to my house, and we did interact outside, like Lisa said, on the porch. And that was so important, like for me, to be able to have that interaction, because it was kind of lonely, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And those are such big life moments.
Yeah, we weren't going to miss those milestones. I mean, that's our culture is family, and you going through all those changes, we weren't going to miss those moments for anything. But it was different. It was hard as again, your colleague and your friend and your boss, so to speak. It's like, I feel like I missed that whole period of your life, and now we're trying to redefine normal is what I say. We're not going back to normal. We're going to redefine normal. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you listened to the podcast that we had about having a happy birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, that was an awesome guest. And she shared so much with us, but I was thinking about you, when I was interviewing her, the birthing process. I mean, that might be a whole nother podcast that we can talk more about, but that is the craziest process to think what you go through, and then you have this baby at the end of that period. And then they tell you to go home with the baby, and you strap the baby in the car seat, and you're like, they're going to let me drive the baby home.
Yeah, like, what are my qualifications for this?
None whatsoever. And I keep telling everybody, if you have a manual on how to raise kids today, please let me know, because so many things you're going to encounter with the baby, the good, the bad, the ugly, just raising a baby. Like, it's a first time. This is your first child. You'd have no experience. And even by the time you have the fourth kid, you're still like fumbling your way along, but you figure it out.
Well, everyone is so different is what I've been told. Like,
oh my
there's
gosh.
No one size fits all.
Oh my gosh. I've mentioned this often on the podcast with our 4 boys. I look at them, I'm like, you could not have 4 more different boys. Each one unique personalities. So not that I'm, not that I don't wish this for you, but I look forward to your next pregnancy. Just give me a little bit of time yet.
I plan on that.
I mean, I'm sure that was HR illegal and everything. Just give me a little bit more time yet.
I'm not planning on having a baby anytime soon.
When you do, that's fine. I'll be happy. But no, I'm just teasing you. We love babies at Red Shoe, so it's all good.
It's been a lot of fun. The last 3 months were good, and now it's this whole figuring out process of like working and being a new mom and figuring that out, and that's a whole nother thing.
There is, like, again, you just do the best you can. Mm-hmm. And we will be as supportive as we possibly can be, because I know that's like more juggling. You're breastfeeding and you have to pump, and like you're at work. And I mean, there's so many things to going back to work and having a new baby. Like, that was a really hard struggle for me. We're there for you, though. I completely understand.
I really do appreciate that. And I'm preparing for daycare, which actually starts next month. So he'll be starting to go to daycare, which the drop-offs, I'm terrified about doing the drop-offs. I'm like, that, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get a little teary-eyed when I have to do that.
And that's perfectly fine. Yeah, let it out. Don't hold back on that at all. That's gut-wrenching. That's your baby. So, yeah. No worries. If you have to pop over there and go see him, completely understand. He will be fine, though. And eventually, you'll get used to that. He's still your baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now, there's some changes here happening with Soul Source, too, I'm told. I'm new to this. I'm finding this out as I'm here. But I'm learning there's going to be a few changes coming.
Yeah, I think we're still working on that. But we've just been talking about, like, we have so many in-office conversations about like topics. What should we pursue? Who are we looking for as an expert in this area? And so we're going to incorporate some of that discussion about how the guest came to be. So it might be you and I talking about, bringing somebody on and talking about women's health. Well, how did that topic come up in the office? Like, what do we want to know more specifically? So we're still working out the kinks. You know how I am. I like to build the plane as I fly it, so to speak. So we'll figure it out. We just ask for your grace and your patience as we figure it out, but it will be good. And plus, here's the other thing, Rocky, is you were out, and again, great learning for me. I was like, holy cow, Rocky has been doing one interview, was it a week?
Well, yeah, it's a weekly show.
Yeah, a weekly show, one interview a week. And I was like, this is actually good. And we talk about cross-training in our office. Make sure everybody knows a little bit of everything. So if somebody needs to jump in, they can. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, poor Rocky. I mean, I know you love doing Soul Source, but you also need a break because you need to fill your bucket. So when you need a break, I am here to fill in. So I got it down. It's not like it's going to be the first time sort of thing. Happy to do that. We'll work on a schedule. So, because I was like, this is ridiculous. This is a lot of work. And we need you in a few other areas too throughout Red Shoes. So it's all good stuff though.
So you're going to be hearing a few other voices throughout the next year here as Soul Source journeys into year 2. You're going to hear a lot more of Lisa interchangeably, and a few other members of our team too will come on from time to time. And we're making it a little bit more of a team effort. And yes, I'll still be here. There'll still be, me probably primarily, but everybody else will kind of be chipping in too. So I think that'll be fun. It'll give it a little different flavor, and just little different voices are good to hear from time to time.
Yeah, I think everybody for everybody in our office, Soul Source has been, and I've said this from the beginning, a passion project. And I don't know if you remember those discussions like we talked about when the pandemic hit. And I felt as an employer, I needed to bring something creative through because there was so much stress and trauma going on with COVID. What could we do as a creative outlet to bring the team through this? And once we launched the podcast, everybody was so excited about it. Everybody talks about and thinks about ideas of who to bring on board and who to have as a guest. And so that continues as I think more and more people get involved in it and provide varying perspectives. I think it's great.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for where we're headed and what's to come. And I'm excited to be back. And thank you for filling in and jumping in. So I think, we've got some good stuff on the horizon.
Happy to do so, but doubly happy to have you back. Thank you, Rocky.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. And if you want to hear more Soul Source, subscribe to the show. We're available wherever you listen to podcasts. And if there's something you want us to talk about, we can do that too. We have a page. It's on Facebook. It's called the Soul Source Society. And it's where we interact with listeners. We get content ideas for future shows. We talk about past content. And overall, we just have a lot of fun. That's Soul Source Society on Facebook. We hope to see you there. Soul Source is brought to you by Red Shoes, Inc., a leading agency that specializes in crisis and strategic communications, media relations, social media, and so much more. To learn more about Soul Source and Red Shoes, visit us at redshoesinc.com.